The most valuable player. More commonly known as the MVP, is given out to the player that has the most outstanding regular season in most sports leagues. However, in some sports leagues, more specifically the NHL, it's turned into more of a popularity contest over the past few years. In 2024 and 2025, Tampa Bay Lightning forward Nikita Kucherov led the league in points in back-to-back seasons, a feat that would win any ordinary player MVP, not once, but probably twice. Not Kucherov, though. He would unfairly come in second behind Nathan MacKinnon and then eventually Connor Hellebuyck in 2025, denying him not once, but twice for his second MVP award. According to BoltsByTheBay.com, 11 voters had Kucherov in fifth on their ballots, while 3 left them off entirely, which is completely insane considering the season he had. Awards. I'm going to quickly go over the awards so that you know what I'm talking about when I mention them by name. So the Hart Memorial Trophy is MVP voted on by the media, and then Ted Lindsay is the Ted Lindsay Award is most outstanding, but it's basically MVP voted by the players. And then Art Ross is the Art Ross Trophy is most points in a season, so it's not voted on by the media. It's just whichever player finishes with the most points. So as far as Kucherov's trophy case before 2024 stands, in 2019, following a record-breaking season, he won the Hart, the Ted Lindsay, and then he also won the Art Ross. Following that, in 2020 and 2021, he won back-to-back Stanley Cups as a member of the Lightning. And then in MacKinnon's case, he only won a Stanley Cup in 2022, where he beat the Lightning, but that doesn't matter in 2024, obviously. Basically, past awards shouldn't matter, but I'll get more into that later. Attitude. Kucherov isn't known for having the best attitude in the league. He really put that in display in the 2024 All-Star game, where he put little to no effort in, got booed in Toronto, just didn't try. And right as soon as the All-Star game ended, several media members saying, this cost him his chance at the MVP, blah, 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 blah. PK Subban, in an article on Heavy.com, said it the best: there's no A in MVP for attitude. It's disrespectful to the player and his accomplishments to say that. Focus on what's on the ice and not off the ice. Furthermore, in 2021, he had a Stanley Cup press conference after they won, kind of ripping on Montreal fans for celebrating too much after they won one game and not winning the series. And then, he's not the only one. MacKinnon also has his problems. A few years ago, he took off his helmet and threw it at somebody and then got suspended for it. He throws tantrums on the bench, snaps sticks, throws gloves at people. Everybody has their issues. What I'm saying is it shouldn't matter in voting. Like I said with PK Subban, MVP, not MAVP. Stick to what's on the ice. Like I said earlier, the he already won one debate. Is it illegal to have multiple MVPs? It shouldn't be, because if so, there are several NHL all-time greats would be, they wouldn't have as many. Wayne Gretzky has 9. Sidney Crosby has multiple. Alex Ovechkin has multiple. Connor McDavid, who is a current star for the past 5 years, has 3. And you're gonna say that Kucherov can't win a second one because he already has one? At that point, you got to change your criteria at some point. If you're gonna say you can't win one, then you have to stick it to everybody. MacKinnon having a great year this season in 2025-2026. Since he already won the pity one, is he going to get a second one? We'll see. The most valuable in MVP. The things that actually matter. Kucherov factored in on 50% of all Lightning goals in 2024, only the 7th player to do so, meaning he got a point or a goal in 50% of all Lightning goals, while MacKinnon only factored in on 46% of all Avalanche goals. Furthermore, there was a 53-point gap between Kucherov and the next player on the Lightning, so he led the Lightning with 144 points. There was a 53-point gap between him and Braden Point, who was the next person in points behind him on the roster. That is an absurd point gap that really shows how valuable he was to the Lightning and how much he really dragged them to the playoffs as their star player. Not only was he good at home, but he was also incredibly good on the road. According to ESPN, he was scoreless in just 3 of the Lightning's 20 wins. He also scored 75 points on the road and led the NHL 15 points ahead of the person in second place. He also scored 54 points on the road, which is the highest since Wayne Gretzky in 1990. A Gretzky record. That's, again, Gretzky has some of the most untouchable records in sports. So to reach one of his is crazy. The stats. Another thing that really matters more than most things. Kucherov won the Art Ross in 2024, leading the league with 144 points, split to 100 assists and 44 goals. More on 100 assists, he was the 5th player in NHL history to do it, following Connor McDavid in the same season. However, he was the first winger to hit 100 assists. The second closest was Jaromir Jagr, who only got 87. He was 13 points ahead of an NHL great, who was second behind him as a winger. Crazy. His strongest arguments against is that he led the league in empty net points, as well as scored a lot on the power play. Is it illegal to score on the power play? Should John Cooper, the head coach of the Lightning, just benched him? Should he not have put him out there on empty net points? It's part of the game to try to score. If you don't want it to happen, then just take it out of the game. Don't punish him for doing his job. In conclusion, in recent years, the NHL MVP award has been influenced by narrative and popularity as much as performance, but there's a reason it's the most valuable player and not the most popular. Ray Ferraro says it best. He can stand there with the puck and the building is falling down around him and never looks like he's flustered. In conclusion, that's why Nikita Kucherov should have won the NHL MVP over Nathan MacKinnon in 2024.